Hi, this is Mish, or Mick, whatever you want to call me. And today I'm going to talk about being busy and my realization that maybe I wasn't as busy as I thought, and maybe I was more distracted than I thought. So rewind a couple of years, I was busy with work, I was traveling, I was doing the big business lunches and dinners, I was hitting the road. When I got home, I had the normal routines of the Friday nights and Saturday night out with the boys. I had family events on Sundays, I had family events during the week. So it was a completely packed schedule. I was a busy dude. I was making things happen. I had a nice car. I was making money. And I felt like, the man. But as time went on, I came to a point where I felt unhealthy. So I figured I'd take a little time off drinking because it played a role in my personality, my lifestyle. And I figured, hey, if I can take time off drinking for a little bit, I can maybe hit my fitness goals a little quicker. It started off as innocently as that. The realizations only came as I kept going. So at first, nothing changed in my life other than what I was drinking. So I'd go out and I'd have a soda rather than a vodka soda. And I just did the same things. I went out with the same people. But what changed was it got boring for me. Because it seemed like every time we went out, whether it was a lunch or a dinner or a hockey game or anything, it was the exact same routine, the exact same events unfolded. And I just got bored of it. Even at work, even visiting customers, I couldn't do it anymore because it was so repetitive and it was almost like I was in a time loop or something. So I figured, hey, I'll just bail out of these things. I'll just stop doing them. And when I stopped, going to these Friday night outings or going on the road and stopped doing any of what I used to do, I had a lot of time on my hands. I'm talking tons of time, almost like 40 hours a week was completely freed up. And that's when I was just spending a lot of time alone and asking a lot of questions. I had really nothing else to do but to be alone and ask questions. There's only so much TV you could watch until you start YouTubing stuff and learning about things. So I started to learn about fitness and nutrition. But then I started to pick up my guitar, and then I started writing. And I came to this realization that, was I really that busy before? All that time was taken up because, yes, the drinking was part of it, but it was more of obligations. And when I was in that, let's say, clouded state, saying no to any of those obligations was not an option for me. It wasn't even on the table. But as I got clearer and I started to use logic in my decision making and started to think, hey, I don't like doing this, so I'm not going to go do it. Before, there was an excuse to go party, and okay, I'll say yes to everything, and I don't want to offend anyone. But now, there's really nothing in it for me. Apparently, the alcohol was the glue that kept me tied to these things. So now that wasn't there and I wasn't having fun, I didn't want to be a part of it. I'd rather stay home and think about things or write music and do all that good stuff. And I started to see how distracted I was. I was tremendously distracted. There was so much time that was being put into things that really brought me no value. I was making more money. Why was I still not saving any money? Why did I have no time to think about my health or nutrition? Why was I only thinking about money and material things? And as my mind cleared and I started to ask myself honest questions and giving myself honest answers, I realized I was wasting a lot of my time. I lived in a big place in the country. Why? So much maintenance. I have to worry about the lawn and the leaves and this breaks or that breaks or the porch is messed up. Why do I have to deal with any of that? That kind of thinking wasn't in my decision making before. So what did I do? I put the house for sale and I moved to an apartment. There's no grass, there's no lawn, there's no problem. My commute was like 80 miles a day. So I moved to the city, closer to work. Or set up my job where I didn't even have to go to work, where I could work from my laptop. I drove a luxury SUV. Why would I need that? Why do I need a hotel on wheels? It's ridiculous. Before, it was a status symbol. But why do I need any kind of symbol? Before I thought I did, but now I don't. I drive a Prius now. It's a tiny little car. I drive it once a week. And I'm very content with it. I've learned to live with less obligations and less stress and less burden and less assets, because it lowers my overhead and I don't have to worry about them or stress out about them. And it gives me freedom. I'm doing the blogging and the vlogging and the music, and people are asking me, how do you pay your bills? How do you do this? Well, I still have my job. I do this at night and on the weekends and when I have free time. But I also I've downsized my lifestyle tremendously. I don't need cars and big houses or lavish dinners. I eat grilled chicken and broccoli most of the time at home. I work out 4 days a week. What else do I need? I don't need all these big things. What, to show people that I have big things, or to show people how successful I am? I'm really not interested by that. But I never ever thought like that. Only because I feel like I was distracted. So was booze the real, antichrist here? Or is booze just, I wrote this in my blog, an agent of distraction? Among other agents of distraction, it's just a variable in a very simple formula. Why is it family members, friends, people I know, as I am where I am at this point in my life, I feel like an outsider just looking in, and I see a lot of distracted people. And I know, because I was the most distracted person. And for some reason, I just said, hey, I'm going to stop drinking, and that unraveled a whole new world to me. But why is it always so easy to be distracted? Not everybody drinks. Some people are distracted by the news, or food, or drugs, or even family, micromanaging families and events, overwhelming events, and the news, politics. There's so many things that you can latch onto that can consume you. And that's what I'm seeing. So why is it so easy to be consumed? It's been a weird time for me, but a really great time, because I'm able to do this. I'm able to talk to a camera and see if someone else is thinking like that. If someone can relate to what I'm saying, or am I really just nuts? But honestly, I've put out a couple blogs now and a couple of videos, and it seems like this is resonating with people. So I've gone in this one a little further into my thoughts on why things are the way they are. But I think it's super interesting, and I think there's a lot to learn. And I think alone time is crucial to be able to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. When I was busy running around from place to place or event to event, I never had time to think about why I was chasing money, or why I was broke. Why was I broke? Because I was spending too much money. Well, I never thought to ask myself, maybe I don't need all the things that I have. Why am I hoarding all this stuff? Who do I need to show my things to? If I just live within my limits, or even lower than that, or just take what I need, I won't have to stress about all this stuff and be busy worrying about that. Or wasting my time going to barbecues, half in the bag, talking about politics. What value is that going to bring me if I continuously do that? I'd rather just talk to this camera right here and ask you guys, why do you think it's so easy to be consumed? It's almost like we're supposed to be consumed or something. We're supposed to be distracted. Or is it just me? Is it just me who is an extremist? I drank too much, or then when I sobered up, I got too far on the other side. I have no idea. All I know is I was distracted. I just want to know if you guys have ever felt that way, or if I'm alone in this. Because the more distracted I was, the less I was able to improve my situation. The more distracted I was, the more money I made, the more money I spent. The older I got, the more things I had to pay for. The more I lived in fear of losing the things that I had that I didn't even need in the first place. It's crazy. Well, let me know what you think. Have a good one. Later.